How many of you read the book? How many of you looked through John's book? Don't be ashamed. We could, very good. Now we have the author here, you know. Did you do one up here?
Yeah.
I thought the writing on that book is just exquisite. I mean, it's kind of at a level that's really polished but yet sincere and rugged. Did you choose the writer, Kathy?
No, it came as a package.
From
John.
Yeah, John was the promoter. I mean, he's
John.
Yeah.
John put it together and wanted Steve to write.
And you've talked about all this, haven't you, already up here? Yeah. Well, wow, how time flies. Okay.
So the show that Paul and I usually put on is I'm the gadfly and he's the curmudgeon. So today I'm going to throw a bunch of images in Paul's direction. He's going to have to turn around and look at them occasionally. And he knows them all. Most of them came from him. Some of them are mysteries, and we're going to ask you to help out and try to solve at least one mystery. And why don't we just begin? First of all, let's pay attention to the great slide.
Why don't I go sit down over there, Gene? So that
I want you to,
where do you want me to sit?
why don't you just turn and look at the...
Because I'm an old man, and it's hard to turn, that's why.
But
Yeah.
then I have to
I
back
think-
and forth. Here,
Okay, I'll
take
manage
the
it.
mic with you.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Oh, I can see it, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. This particular slide, did you have the one at the beginning?
Oh, yeah.
How many of you remember Bob Monroe? Bob Monroe. He was in charge of the Northwest collection at the University of Washington Library, and he used that first slide in his slideshows. You know, was it the one up there, quiet? Yeah, no, okay. So we use that in celebration, in memory rather, of Bob Monroe, who's now like about 20 years gone or so. Okay. Gene and I did a now and then on this recently. When was that, Gene?
Sunday.
Oh, last Sunday. Oh, that's sensible. Good. Okay.
So Nick Sutton and I were down in the market about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I did not have a wide lux camera. And so there are interesting problems with distortion that happen when you shoot wide, as you all know. So I faked it. And we shot maybe 5 or 6 different images, and this was the one that seemed to us to be the most easy to stitch together and also representative. But we got pretty close.
Now he says I had nothing to do with it. He chose it, he shot it.
Yeah. And then Paul.
Yeah, oh, I love this shot because it's unique for the size of the coverings or whatever those things are called. Oh, anybody have awnings, yeah. Look at how far that awnings sticks out over Pike Place on the arcade. I don't think they kept those for very long because there was this long fight between the market and the motorists, you know, who liked to use Pike Place to switch back up Western and then back into the city so they could get around the city without having to go through it. They'd come on Western and then switch back through the market. So there was a lot of anguish about that. Okay. Now this is a bit of a mysterious photo because I can't remember where it comes from, but it may be from Stamets. He might have shot this. What do you think? Anybody have an idea on that? Yeah? Yeah.
It would have been taken from the Goodwin Library.
Yeah.
And it looks like a market festival.
Yes.
It's not the same market festival shot as the one, so it would have been a different year. This would have been either the one that you selected was from 1986.
Yeah.
And so this might have been 85 or later.
And how do you know they're not the same one?
Because the banners are.
Banners. Okay. Yeah.
The 86 photo that you selected.
Yeah.
Is Marketplace north in both of them? The condo in the back?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this may have been John's or maybe not, but I've now lost touch with where I got it. But I think I can trace it by going back into old negatives and seeing the continuity or its neighbors. I can probably figure it out.
John Stamets' archive at the university, all of this is Pike Place Market photos. John's Pike Place Market photos are at the UW library as well. And so
I guess he's asking you to sit on his back or something. No. Oh,
So we'll
no.
be able to, if this could have been a photo that he took for Pike Place Market News. And then those files are there, and so there's a chance that we can find that.
Paul, were you around, was Paul Dunn around then? Yeah.
Do you recognize that photo, Paul? You don't recognize it as one of John's?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, Gene, how are we doing on time? So it's the time to take questions?
Not quite yet, Paul.
Okay.
You got half an hour.
All right. Now this, Gene, where did we use this?
Well, this is a now and then photo that we use, but I couldn't track down the now, which is a then at this point, because I think we used this first maybe 10 years ago.
We used in the book Washington Then and Now, but I think we also used it in the Times.
Yes, we did.
And I did have it in full color. It just occurred to me that you would have it, so I didn't send it to you. So I apologize for that. Okay, any questions? All right. Wait, Paul hasn't mentioned. Paul? Oh, it was irregular. It was, yeah. Oh, this is a slide by Lawton Gowie, a friend of mine who passed in the early 80s, and he was very interested in walking around the city taking shots. He worked at the water department, had a large slide collection, which his widow gave to me when he died. And this is from '76. So it's right before, and Lawton would know this. Lawton would have his feelers out. He'd know that this was the time to shoot this because they were going to fix it up. So this is right before they did the renovation on the Market building. Notice the barber shop. Did any of you use that barber shop? I didn't either. How about the donuts? Is there donuts there or not? No, that's kitty corner. That's behind
That's
us.
the other way.
Yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, I was a teenager, I actually worked in the Stage 1 theater, which is where the empty space started. And just around the corner, after rehearsals, we'd go to that Mexican restaurant. And they had the hottest hot sauce any of us had ever had. And we sat down, and Artis was in one of these shows, in Hamlet, actually. And I remember going with Artis the Spoon Man to the Mexican restaurant, and he took a bowl of the hot sauce. He didn't have any money, so he just ate the hot sauce. So that's that Mexican restaurant's gone and disappeared soon after that. Burned down, I'm sure.
How many of you remember the Spoon Man? Everybody remembers it. Yeah. What's that?
I talk to him
Yeah.
fairly regularly.
Yeah. I think he's still living, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah.
He was very, yeah.
Very living?
He's in Fort Town. He was very sick when he had the heart attack. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He's got
Yeah.
very
I remember there was a benefit. I remember the benefit. Yeah. Okay.
So here's the update. Here's your shot, Paul, of the corner building looking from First and Pike.
I did one. Oh, no, this is also,
Is this Lawton?
I think this is Lawton too, yeah. All right. All right. Yeah, that's Lawton. That is not me. Yes.
Can I ask, what's the time difference between those two shots?
Well, I've got to confess, I'm a little surprised by the second shot because when I was looking for the slides, to add to the ones Gene has. I knew I had one that was a year later, but I didn't think I found it. And I must have used that as a substitute, or Gene, did you get that from your collection, that last one?
Yes.
So Gene has really confused us here. We don't worry. What's the date on it?
Well, I don't know what it is. It was
Yeah.
from an original show that we put together.
Yeah, I believe it's the next year. How about the,
Shop is gone, the college, the Barber College is not there.
yeah, what do you think? That all happened, didn't they, when they were fixing the building up, didn't they? Yeah, yeah,
But if you
yeah.
look closely, the parked cars are exactly the same.
And no tickets on that.
Okay. Oh, speak up.
The windows are now all the same on the second floor, the third floor, whatever that is. And do we know which was the original? That was first. But is that, well, that's first, but it could be a residential window. I think that's how it was built.
You guys are so learned. You're really learned.
It's one of those expressive wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
looks like a, yeah.
okay.
Okay, forward. Now, Paul sent me this, and I don't know why. Why did you send me this, Paul?
I-
It looks like slightly obscene.
I'll
What is
look at it, I'll look at it. Oh, I put that in as the mystery photo, because I found that when I, you know, what do you call it, looked for market shots on the computer, and this one came up. So I think this probably is a market shot. What?
Sea monsters.
I think this is a market shot. This is at some point in the market when you could buy, well, you see, you recognize much of this, but not the octopus. Yeah, or it could be an Ivor Hagelin hoax. I'm not sure which. Yep. So I don't have a good answer, I'm sorry.
Oh, I threw in a handful of the market repeats that Paul and I have done over the last few years, so we'll sprinkle some in as we go. And this is one of them, looking down the old, under the arcade. And we found pretty much the same location, so let's take a look.
By the way, Gene made a point about the time he spent in the theater down in the alley there, and his stories about that experience are funny and really good ones, but you don't get to hear them today because we don't have pictures. All right? Well, what are we doing?
We're doing replace. Oh,
That's a WPA photograph. Yeah, a WPA photograph. So it's during the Depression, probably late Depression. I did a now and then on that maybe 20 years ago in the Times. One of those. You know how long we've been doing now and then? 36 years. I'm an old man. Okay, what are we doing, Gene?
we're going to the protest. We don't want to replace the market.
Oh, yes, okay. This is an old photo, of course, at the protest, right? And then I think we also did a story on this, Gene, right?
We did, and it's coming up next.
Okay. Gene?
Oh, man, what was this, 63, 67? 68.
I'm glad I didn't
Because-
get caught on that.
You can see Victor Steinbrook leading the procession here.
Yeah. We know a lot, actually, but we forgot a lot of it, so.
Haven't we all?
Really? Okay. What are we doing? Still doing it?
Well, we're looking at the same location
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
and that's
How
not
many of you
Victor.
guys knew Victor? Let's find out that. How many of you knew Victor? Raise your hands if you knew Victor. Let's see. Huh? It was your neighbor, yeah. So really, we've spent a long time on this planet since Victor passed.
He was
Yeah.
a friend of my husband's.
Yeah. Yeah, he used to come by in his Bentley, I think, the Helix office. He'd like to visit every once in a while. That was on the south side of the University Bridge, near the Red Robin Tavern. The original Red Robin Tavern. No, should we tell stories about that?
No, we got to
Okay.
go on. So, my curmudgeonly friend, in one of the shows we did, you thought this might have been a Pike Place Market butcher who is quoted in the article that is coming up from '63, where he talks about not replacing the market with anything but the market. And Paul thinks his name might have been Korolas Hanno, a meat man who came here in 1951 from Greece.
He worked at Pike Place Fish.
Yeah.
Called either Charlot or Shalom.
Shalom. Does this look like him?
Yeah.
Okay, you got it, Paul.
No, you're mistaken. I never thought any of that unless I've forgotten it. No, that comes from a caption that's probably on a post-intelligencer glossy. I think that's what that is. I didn't know that myself. But you guys, you historians of the market, you intimate purveyors of its past, you know this stuff. That's why we're here, to learn something. Go ahead.
So it was just coincidence that we put that in an earlier show, I guess.
I think so, yeah. Yes, it was coincidence.
Who's this, Paul?
What's that?
I know this is your photo.
That's a photo I put in every show that has to do with the market, because I don't know who this is. And I took that, it's bad light? Bad night, okay. Does anybody know who this is? Does she look familiar to you? Yeah. Do you remember her? You were familiar. Well, I took her picture sometime probably in the early 70s or something, yeah. Okay. I have a feeling it was on the east side, near the corner. You think you know her? Okay. Knew her, yeah.
Well, the pears are 29 cents a pound.
Well, pretty good price.
Of course, that might be $2.99.
All right, this is a lovely shot that comes from the Museum of History and Industry. And Gene went up and tried to repeat it and did. Any questions? Huh? Oh, here's Billy King. Who is Billy standing with? Huh? That's Gertrude Pacific, yeah. A couple of artists connected with the market. Gertrude lived here for a while. I don't know if Billy ever lived down here. Well, he probably lived in his shop, which was down on Western, yeah. And I know he worked here. I've got a picture of him selling fish. Yeah. Oh, I love this shot. You know where we are here, right? Because those stairs are still there. Those sheds are quite old. They're no longer there, but, and then above it is the old Siemens building, which had the little tower on it, which is also gone. And I have it in my notes. I don't remember this stuff. I should have. Gene, do you want to tell them your adventure? Didn't you have an adventure taking the now shot?
Well, yeah, I broke into one of the condos and found my way, had a sandwich on the way through, and took the photo out the window of the third story. And here's what it looked like.
What else did you take out? Just asking.
Listen, we got a videotape running. Talk to me after this.
Okay, all right. How's the video going, huh? Thanks.
We're at the Armory now.
Armory, okay. Do any of you remember the destruction of the Armory? So you're a young group then, really, when you think about it. It was in the 60s, right around the time, I think around 66 or 67.
I love this photo. Not only is the Armory gone, but that phone booth. It's unique. You'll never see another one.
friend of mine came down and got a lot of the bricks and used them in building his house. So,
There we go.
salvaging the bricks. Okay.
Fire with the.
This is a now and then we did, and it shows us the part of the market that was on the west side. What's that? The municipal market, right. And it got fire, and that sort of didn't destroy it, but it did it in the sense that its days were numbered from then on. And that's where we have the new building. How many of you visited the new building on the west side? Okay. What's that? Yeah. I haven't yet. Okay. What are we doing?
We're going forward.
Okay.
I thought I'd have to throw in the roller derby down Post Avenue, so Post Street.
Post Alley.
Soapbox derby. Not roller. Well, they're rollers. They're rollers.
Roller derby. Yeah, that was, those are fun. This is by a guy named Frank Shaw, who was a Boeing employee who loved to wander the city with his Hasselblad and taking pictures, and maybe about 2,000 of them. No, about 20 years worth, 25 years worth. And his nephew gave me his collection. So if everything winds up of mine in a public archive, which I think is going to happen, that'll be part of it. All right. This is a picture that we're trying to figure out now, because that's the second home of Princess Angeline, and we think we know where it is, although we're trying to make fine adjustments on it. We think it's a little bit north of Pike Street. And we got things triangulated with that tree and those buildings in the back, but we have to really do a little more fine tuning on it. And I think maybe next week, Jean is going to go with Ron Edge, who's done most of the latter day or most recent calculating on it, and take a picture of him near where she is, although that is now probably on the second or third floor of a building. It could be in the basement of a building. We're trying to figure that out. But that is Princess Angeline, and she died in 1896. So this is a little bit before it. But she's in her new place, which she had for the last about 5 years of her life.
Is that, Pike and Western?
Speak up.
Is it down by Western?
Yeah, you see that, oh, not this one. Well, that's part of the confusion, frankly, because there is a picture that shows the remains of that building next to the new one. So her new building was really right contiguous to this building. This was done by a guy named Hayes, who was the photographer for the Northern Pacific Railroad. And he was here in the late 80s and early 90s. And he went and visited the place with a PI reporter. So there's a lot of good discussion of this place, descriptions of it, which I used in the newspaper 30 years ago, probably. Wow. Paul Dunn, do you remember when we did a Friends of the Market slideshow about 8-10 years ago? We were looking at a picture of the market taken from down around Union Street, looking up at the skyline that's right south of Pike Place, and we were wondering about a certain quality to the roof line, and we're mystified by it. I think I found it. It's right there. It's how this has got a arch to it, this roof. And it figures it's in the right place. So there we go. I'm sorry I don't have that picture. You could look at it and you could verify it or cum-drum it. Okay. I made up that word, cum-drum. What's that? Speak up.
Skylight was from 76.
You mean that particular roof was from 76? Well, that shoots that.
So a little forward here, and I'm sure you all know this photo of Princess Angeline, and she's sitting in a very familiar place before the market. This is 1895, just before she died. And I was looking to do a repeat of this photo for the Mohai Seattle Now and Then show that Paul and I did together about 4 or 5 years ago.
10 years ago.
No, 2011, so six years.
Are you sure of that?
I'm sure. No, I'm absolutely sure.
All right.
So, I was down at the market, I went to the far end, and there was the brother of the slain carver, Rick Williams. And he was sitting carving on a little totem, and it was the model for the totem pole that he put up and is now downtown. And so I convinced him, showed him Princess Angeline's photo. I said, come on down, let's go to this same spot and bring the totem. And so we took this photo, which I thought was pretty cool.
What did he say about Princess?
He said that Princess Angeline reminded him of his grandmother, and that's why. His people are from Vancouver Island, so.
Good. Yes.
I just attended a meeting where the Indian name for that is Kaya.
Okay, can you speak up?
They want to name the new market commons the Kaya House.
The,
Because of that affectionate grandmother name.
Right,
Well, they call her grandmother.
grandmother.
And that's where Kaya, I don't know, I'm jumping in at the wrong time, but I just thought.
are you guys related? No? You know each other? Are you disagreeing on this point or not?
It's a proposal. I don't think it's,
Oh.
I jumped way out.
Oh, no, we like you to jump. We want you to jump. Thank you.
So there's the donut shop in this photo. You can talk about the donut shop.
Oh, any of you remembered the donut shop? Why was it, you were right across the street. Well, why don't you tell us about the donut shop here?
That was Gunnar, I mean, other people I'm sure can fill in, but that was Gunnar Manhall ran that, and his brother Herb ran the delicatessen next door to it.
Huh.
And their mom worked there too. I remember one morning, when we would open about 7, one Saturday morning I went in about 6, and he threw a pile of magazines up on the counter that we didn't have at the newsstand yet. He said, give me $5. And
No
I didn't. But it wasn't long after that the state police surrounded the donut shop and found the police revolvers and the drugs and the...
Oh, yeah. He did fencing, right?
Yeah,
For,
probably, yeah.
for stolen goods?
Yeah, they would bring this up.
And did they find him guilty? Did they?
Oh, you know, his brother, I know, committed suicide. I think he was convicted.
Yeah.
There was a big trial.
Oh, the shame. Yeah. Yeah, I know, that's good, yeah. How long was the donut shop there? Do you remember?
I didn't get there until the late 70s, so it was there then.
Yeah.
So
Wait, sorry, go ahead.
we're just about to wrap up, so I'm going to flood through a handful more photos, and Paul, if you want to say 3 or 4 words about each one, we will
Sure.
finish up. So
Yeah,
this
okay.
This is the.
Here we go.
Is this Frank Shaw?
This is Frank Shaw. You know where that is. Let's go to the next one. Gene's repeat of it. Very interesting people that run that place, I found. That's quite a family. Okay. Go ahead. Oh, that's, well, sometimes we repeat our stories. So this is a story we did years ago on that same place. And I got in trouble because there was a swastika in it. And they thought I was promoting fascism. You believe that? Go ahead. It wasn't with the newspaper, it was some reader objected.
Yep. This is where the gum wall would be. And of course there, right in the center of the photograph, is the sign for stage 1. So, which was run by a guy named Horace Campbell, who was probably the worst playwright to ever put a line down on paper.
Anywhere or on Post Alley?
I've never seen any, it was so appallingly bad.
Oh, boy. Well, yeah, must have had some confidence.
And here's paintings in front of the market building.
Oh, this was, some of you may remember this event where, when they were working on the corner market building, artists put up the panels, the 4x8 panels, yeah. We did a now on this, I know. Go ahead.
Mark Toby.
Mark Toby, what's that?
Red delicious apples.
All right. Gene? That is the group that formed the Seattle Historical Society, or no, that's Friends of the Market. Friends of the Market, yeah. These are representatives of Friends of the Market that went, I believe, from a meeting downstairs across the street to take this portrait to mix with Denny. No, this one was actually Friends of the Market, wasn't it?
Oh, my God.
Wasn't it Friends of the Market that we did that? Okay, Historical Society, all right.
So I'm just going to flip through some more, and you can all ooh and ah. Spring Festival. There's artists. And I love the woman. That's a marvel.
This is another Shaw, Frank Shaw photo.
And she's out of a Ouija photo. She was visiting.
Oh, back up. Oh, that's the first Pike Hill climb. That's where they lowered the coal cars down from right here down to the waterfront, right on that trestle.
How long did you know how long that lasted?
Yeah, I do. From 71 to 78. 18, 7, yeah.
Another view of the hill climb.
Oh, now this, of course, is the trestle that was built for pedestrians. This is where Ivor Hagelin had his vision about what he wanted to do with his life. As he describes it anyway, he said he wanted to work on the waterfront with fish. Go ahead.
We're just about done here, so.
You know what this is, right? They're working on this building, right? That whole, the whole big market building. What do you call that building, Gene? I don't remember either, but it's the, huh?
That's the armory.
Yeah, that's the
They
armory.
built it
You
so
don't
long
usually
ago, they
see
would
it that
shoot
way.
Arrows out of the little.
Yeah, right. If you do a little archaeology around there,
The Liberty Theater on First Avenue, right around the corner.
1916
And today-
snow, yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry, yeah.
There we are looking.
This is a wonderful shot I found in a secondhand store down in the market. And it shows them starting to tear away the dirt with hoses to create the entrance to the railroad tunnel.
The longest railroad tunnel in the world.
Did you know that? Why is that, Gene?
Well, you tell them, Paul.
No, you tell them, Gene.
No, right now and forever, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the longest in the world because it runs, of course, from where to where, Paul?
Virginia to, oh God, now I got it.
Washington.
Oh, to Washington, yeah, Virginia to Washington. Now, is that a good joke or not?
And we finish with Jackson
I think it's a good joke.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.